So the reviews are in, and once again we're staring down the barrel of a video game sequel that proves Hollywood still hasn't learned a damn thing. A game being turned into a movie is already a risky business. Turning a beloved game into a sequel to a half-decent film? That's where optimism goes to die. We've seen this pattern before. Resident Evil did it. The first film was watchable, sometimes even respectable. Then the sequel arrived and everything went sideways. Tone, characters, logic, atmosphere gone. All sacrificed at the altar of louder, dumber spectacle. And now here we are again, watching history repeat itself with Silent Hill. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Daemon, and today we're talking about Silent Hill. What worked, what absolutely didn't, and how this franchise keeps missing the most obvious trick sitting right in front of it. Let's start with the original Silent Hill film, because this matters. Christophe Gans' 2006 adaptation is far from perfect, but it understood the assignment better than most game adaptations ever have. It nailed the look, the sound design, the oppressive fog, the industrial nightmare aesthetic. Most importantly, it respected the idea that Silent Hill isn't just a spooky town full of monsters. It's a psychological space, a place shaped by trauma, repression, guilt, and punishment. What makes this even harder for me to dismiss is that Silent Hill is the only film that has ever genuinely unnerved me, and I know exactly why. I watched it during one of my worst bouts of insomnia. 4 or 5 days without sleep, and that was around the midpoint, windows open, middle of winter, dead quiet, completely alone, middle of the night. And no, I'm not pretending the film itself is flawless. It isn't. It became part of what I half-jokingly call my insomnia films, movies you watch when your brain is already fraying at the edges. But that's exactly why it worked. The cold, the silence, the endless wandering, the way time feels stretched and wrong. Silent Hill doesn't rush you, it wears you down. And in that state, half awake, disconnected, vulnerable, the film slipped past my critical brain and hit something deeper. It wasn't jump scares, it wasn't gore, it was atmosphere, abandonment, the sense that the world had quietly moved on and left you behind. Quintessentially, I was alone, and the film understood that feeling. That's why, even acknowledging its flaws, I'll always defend the first Silent Hill movie. Not because it's perfect, but because it succeeds where it matters most. It makes you feel exposed. It makes you feel small. It makes silence oppressive. And whether that reaction came partly from insomnia almost doesn't matter, because Silent Hill is supposed to work on you when you're mentally off balance. That's baked into its DNA. Yes, the film made sacrifices, but most of them were in service of translating an interactive experience into a cinematic one. It wasn't trying to be Silent Hill 2. It was trying to be Silent Hill, full stop. And for all the complaints about pacing, monster usage, and altered lore, the film had something crucial, a story it wanted to tell. Silent Hill as the physical manifestation of a child's shattered mind. A place where language fails, where truth cannot be spoken and must instead be experienced. That's why the film meanders. That's why answers come slowly. That's why characters wander, observe, suffer. The town doesn't explain itself because it can't. Words don't work there, only images, repetition, pain, and revelation. Then came Silent Hill. Revelation. And honestly, what the hell was that? Revelation is the point where the franchise fully gave up and decided iconography mattered more than meaning. Pyramid Head shows up because people recognize him, not because he belongs there. Yes, he appeared in the first film, and yes, that was handled with at least some symbolic intent, but here, he's just wheeled on stage like a mascot. So the story just turns into this rushed, incoherent slideshow of game references, all stripped of their psychological context. Silent Hill stops being a mirror of inner torment and, well, becomes a sort of generic hell dimension where cosplay monsters just wander about waiting for their cue. It's louder, flatter, dumber, and honestly, worst of all, empty. It doesn't understand why Silent Hill works. It only knows what Silent Hill looks like. Which brings us to the so-called genuine sequel, Return. Return to Silent Hill, openly tied to Silent Hill 2. And, honestly, this is where the alarm bells should already be deafening. Silent Hill 2 isn't just another entry. It's sacred ground, it's intimate, inward-looking, psychological horror. Trying to directly adapt it already misses the point. That story only works because you are complicit in it as a player. Strip away that interactivity and you risk turning something profound into a checklist of scenes fans recognize. And this is where the franchise keeps missing its biggest opportunity. Silent Hill should never have been treated as a straight sequel machine. It should have been a series, anthological, psychological, character-driven, and independent of the game's protagonists. Here's the idea they should have run with years ago. A coach full of strangers, ordinary people, different ages, different secrets. Among them is a serial killer, cornered, hunted, forcing the driver to take a detour to avoid a roadblock. No exposition dump, no warning, just a wrong turn. Fog rolls in, the road disappears. From there, the genius is in the fracture. Each character doesn't experience the same Silent Hill. They each slip into their own version, their own psychological dimension, shaped by guilt, repression, fear, or denial. One is industrial and rusted, another religious and ritualistic, another domestic, familiar, subtly wrong. Monsters aren't shared symbols, they're personal. But here's the twist: because too many people arrive in Silent Hill at once, the walls between these dimensions begin to thin. Characters cross paths briefly. Monsters follow the wrong person. A creature meant for one psyche intrudes into another's nightmare. No explanation, no lore dump. It's never spelled out, it's just shown. Because Silent Hill doesn't explain, it reveals. Think Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. This also solves one of the franchise's biggest recurring problems: iconic monsters appearing where they shouldn't. Pyramid Head doesn't need to belong to everyone. He can belong to one character, but when dimensions bleed, others see him too. Not because he's theirs, but because Silent Hill itself is breaking under the weight of too much unresolved trauma at once. That's how you respect symbolism without rigid rules. That's how you keep Silent Hill unsettling. That's how you stop it becoming a mascot parade. This approach also avoids the biggest trap game adaptations fall into, trying to recreate player agency without understanding why it mattered. Games like Silent Hill, Dead Space, The Last of Us, Resident Evil all stumble when adaptations prioritize plot beats over emotional mechanics. Games work because you uncover the truth. Films rush because they feel obligated to explain it. An anthology series wouldn't need to. Each story stands alone. Each truth emerges differently. Some characters never understand what happened. Some don't survive long enough to try. And that's exactly how Silent Hill should feel. So, where does that leave us? The original Silent Hill film got closer than it had any right to. Revelations squandered that goodwill, and now with Return to Silent Hill, it feels like the franchise is once again mistaking recognition for understanding. Silent Hill isn't about monsters. It isn't about gore. It isn't even really about plot. It's about interiority, about confronting things language can't carry. Until the people handling this franchise grasp that, we're going to keep getting echoes instead of substance. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.